I come in, ma'am? Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sirs. Thank you, ma'am.
So you are from Surat.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the proverb which is popularly associated with Surat? Any idea?
Sorry, ma'am. May I beg your pardon?
No, but Surat is known for what? Surtis are very fond of
Ma'am, Surtis are very fond of food.
food.
There is also one saying that Surat nu jaman ane
That's
Kashi nu
exactly
maran.
what I was trying to ask you.
Yes,
Surat nu jaman and Kashi nu maran.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now Surat is also known for Hiragasus,
Yes, ma'am.
diamond thing. What is it that caused this industry to become based in Surat? What are the conditions that made the diamond industry flourish in Surat?
Ma'am, there are multiple reasons which are responsible for flourishment of diamond industry. First, there is a historical reason because there was one diamond trader, Gujarati diamond trader who was based in East Africa. So during early 20th century, he brought some of the workers from Africa and brought them to Surat as well as Navsari. So that is the reason why foundations were laid in Gujarat and Surat in particular. Ma'am, since the foundation, there are multiple other reasons for its flourishment. Like there are skilled as well as cheap labor abundantly available in Surat. Ma'am, secondly, there has also been favorable government support. Like there have been SEZ, special economic zones, which have been set up, as well as other taxation benefits, custom benefits, which are being provided by Gujarat government. That is also one of the reasons for its flourishment, ma'am.
Now, more and more, India, like most other countries, is becoming urbanized, right? So, what will happen? What is the percentage of urbanization in China?
Ma'am, I'm not exactly sure of the percentage, ma'am, in China.
Recently, there was a figure of 80% of China being urbanized.
Thank you.
And do you think India will also become urbanized in similar fashion?
Yes, ma'am, urbanization is taking place, and I think there was one UN report which had estimated that by 2050, 50% of Indian population would be residing in urban areas, ma'am.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Ma'am, it has the elements of both positives as well as negatives associated. Urbanization as such is a good phenomenon, but the problem is with the rapid urbanization. The pace at which urbanization is taking place is beyond the capacity at which the local government, local bodies could handle it. So that is the problem. Otherwise, urbanization as such is a good thing, ma'am.
Then who will grow the food? If everybody ultimately moves to the city, who will be there to grow the food and all the other resources we get from rural areas? Plus, we will have concrete jungles all over the place. Instead of nature, a place where you can see nature at its best. So, what is the solution?
Ma'am, as far as the first part of the question goes, if we see even the highly developed nations like USA as well as some of the European countries, there is never 100% urbanization. So even over there are countrysides where fruits, vegetables and other eatables are grown, ma'am. So similar would happen in India, that there would be some rural population which would grow the food and feed entire India, ma'am. Apart from that, there are other solutions as well, like in Japan. In cities only, there are vertical farmings and such other technological solutions are being used. So that may also be employed, ma'am.
Okay, but basically, the distinction between an urban area and a rural area is at the level of development. So that urban area is considered developed in terms of all the amenities, and rural area is considered devoid of all amenities. So what is the solution? to halt total urbanization and yet ensure that villagers enjoy an equal amount of benefits of development.
Ma'am, to arrive at the right balance, I think what former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had suggested, providing urban amenities in rural areas.
Right.
That is the best way forward, in my opinion.
Right. Okay, Mr. Bhatnagar.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, when you were born in 94, there happened a great incident in Surat. Do you know about this incident, what happened in that year?
Yes, sir. There was a plague outbreak.
Yes, there was a plague outbreak. So what was the finding, why it broke out, and we have not taken any lesson from this pandemic, which was spread in Surat and a part of the Gujarat also. Even then, today we see when this pandemic came of COVID, people are negligent, they are not putting mask on their faces. And many, instruction has been issued by the WHO, they are not following. How do you see the Indians?
Sir, as far as the first part goes, that why did it break out in Surat? Because there was a heavy flood in Surat during 1994, and because of rat and mice population's overgrowth, the plague breakout happened in Surat.
Yes, but we have not learned the lesson. Plague breakout, then this also pandemic, and we are careless about it. Now I was reading newspaper point that the infection is increasing in Delhi also. 84 cases is almost 12% higher than the last 24 days. So what is the cause of this? Are we negligent?
Sir, there are multiple reasons for its outbreak as well as continuance of this pandemic. So one is definitely the carelessness among the Indians as well as global population at large, as we see even in other countries. Because, sir, the pandemic is such that it affects each and every aspect of our life. And an ordinary man cannot simply adjust to this new normal. There is some capacity beyond which any individual cannot cope with this. So that is what we are seeing, because it has already been more than 1.5 years since we are living with pandemic, and people are now somewhat tired of this. So that is why some carelessness is being observed. So that is definitely one aspect.
Oh, can you tell me how many people, population of India has been vaccinated till this? First and second dose it has been given?
Sir, a total number of doses, 47 crore doses have been provided till this date, and 10 crore people have been vaccinated with both the doses, sir.
How many % to be, to be injected this vaccine, then we can achieve our targets per day? News in the paper. Have you read about it?
Sir, I know about one target that by the end of this year, we are trying to vaccinate every eligible.
How many people will vaccinate per year?
Sir,
per month?
Sir, there was one affidavit filed by government in Supreme Court in which it was said that between July and December, government is planning to vaccinate 135 crore doses, sir.
You are an amateur photographer.
Yes, sir.
And do photography. I also do. We can discuss on that.
Sure, sir.
Can you tell me, when you are doing a landscape photography in the noon, what is the ISO, what is the aperture you will keep? And when you are taking photography of the animal, especially the running animal, what will be the difference in that?
Sir, as far as, because it is noon time, so there would be adequate lighting. So exposure won't be an issue. So ISO of 100 would do the job, sir. Sir, because the animal is running, so we need to have really fast shutter speed, sir, to capture
How much the shutter speed is kept when animal is running, generally?
Sorry, sir?
How much shutter speed is kept, generally? Minimum you tell me.
Sir,
there is variation up to 20,000, but how much
sir,
is kept?
1/500 second would do the job, because it will freeze the capture of animal, running animal, sir. So that much shutter speed could be kept, sir. And aperture would accordingly adjust, sir, if we use shutter speed priority mode.
And when you are taking the photograph of the galaxy or a star trail photography when you are doing, what will be the difference and deviation you will do in a digital camera?
Sir, whenever we are doing the galaxies photography, because it is night time, so we need to keep ISO high to get adequate exposure, sir.
What is the cause behind this? Since you are a mechanical engineer, why we keep the shutter speed higher, then make it lower, then focus we adjust? Why it is all done?
Sir, there are purpose behind everything. All three elements have certain purpose. Like if you want to blur the background, then you need to adjust the aperture accordingly. If you want to adjust the brightness, whether you want dark image or bright image, accordingly ISO is changed. So there is purpose, sir.
What exactly ISO is?
Sir, it basically reflects the sensitivity of the digital sensor, sir.
Okay, my last question to you. We are listening about this maglev technology. Since you are a mechanical engineer, what is this maglev technology?
Sir, maglev technology stands for magnetic levitation. It is basically a propelling technology to propel any vehicle or pod onto the track, sir. So it basically works on the principle of superconductivity, whereby
So why we can't run trains on electric, with electricity on this as we are using this Leviate technology? What will be the difference? Can it not run on the wheels? 400, 500, 600?
yes, sir, definitely it can run on the wheels. As we see even bullet train, it runs on the wheels.
You know, how it's Leviate, it does not run on the wheels? Are there wheels?
Sir, in maglev trains there are no wheels because there is no contact between the track and the pod.
Yes.
Sir, basically to reduce the friction and increase the speed. So that is the whole purpose, sir.
So, these two technologies, maglev technology, EDS and EMS systems are being used. Can you tell the difference? What is the difference between the two systems? Electrodynamic and electromagnetic system?
Sorry, sir, I am not very much sure of this.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Karthik, you are a mechanical engineer from IIT Bombay.
Yes.
Easily one of the finest institutions of the country. You got CGP of 9.6. So to say, you could have asked for a profession. You could have easily got a high-placed corporate job. But you have taken a decision to work in government. I'm not asking you why. My question is the reverse of that. The question is that you know what you are aspiring for in government service. I want to know to what extent you know what you are going to lose by opting for government service vis-a-vis the top corporate job. What are the disadvantages? What are the weaknesses? What are the sacrifices which in case you continue for the next 30 years, 35 years?
Sir, I would be losing on some of the aspects if I
Be
choose
specific.
government service.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
First is in terms of pay.
Okay, done.
Secondly, in terms of career progression, because one could be CEO easily in their 30s and 40s with good performance, which is not possible in government job. That is second. Third is to some extent in terms of lifestyle, because some of the best cities one could live in if one chooses corporate job.
Fine.
So these are the three main limitations.
That's all. Have you never thought about lack of merit as a consideration in government? Merit is generally not rewarded in the hierarchical system of bureaucracy. In corporate it is. And that is what causes the frustration in most competent people. That's why a lot of people resign also from civil services.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Are you not consciously aware of the interference of the bureaucratic system as well as the political system? Are you not bothered about that?
Yes, sir. These are some of the issues which government faces.
So you're happy to do that, lose that?
Sir, because there are pros and cons in each of the field
fine.
which we
One
go.
more question only I'll ask you. India is the biggest democracy of the world, we all know that. But critics often say that India is also a very weak democracy, primarily because of its weak election system and a couple of other reasons. Right? Do you agree with that?
To some extent, yes, sir.
Yes.
Because there are issues in election, even the fundamental rights, there are allegations of
What
decency.
can be done, whether in an election system or subsequent situations, to make India a stronger democracy? And in fact, to give you a hint of what I want to hear from you, is same people have gone to the extent of suggesting that why should everybody vote? Because it's such a poor country that vote can be bought in a few rupees or by giving freebies like free electricity or bus fare. So only those people should be allowed to vote with a certain minimum literacy level, or only the taxpayers. React to this and give your overall suggestions.
Sir, sorry to say this, but I disagree with this statement because voting is the constitution. Basically, the constitution, fundamental law requires.
All that theory, we know that. Obviously, these people who are criticizing, they know the theory. So come to the realistic part of it. Because what they have said, what I am quoting, is a reality of life. We all know that. How to counter it?
Sir, because everyone is, even the politicians are aware that each and every citizen has the vote to cast. That is why they are responsive as well as accountable to the
Again, you
people.
are more onto theory now. Even the politicians said politicians are happy with this situation. That's why the question. That means nothing can be done, and according to your answer, nothing needs to be done. There is no need to do anything because even the politicians are aware. Fine. Okay, we are happy with this situation.
Sir, as far as concerns in election goes, there are other solutions at hand, but limiting the casting of vote to only few sections, that I am not agreeing, sir.
Then what are the other ways of strengthening the democracy?
Sir, for strengthening the democracy, there are constitutional as well as legal bodies. They really need to be empowered.
Again, please do not talk in general terms. Be specific. What needs to be done? You give your suggestions.
Sir, firstly, the Election Commission of India, there are a number of reforms which need to be undertaken, like charging their expenditure, giving separate cadre of officers which are independent for the Election Commission of India.
It's already there.
Sir,
Expenditure means? Charging of expenditure means?
so that it doesn't come under the purview of discussion in Parliament, sir. So, charging the expenditure onto the Constitution of India, sir. Sir, secondly, separate cadre, because many of the officers are on deputation to Election Commission, so they are.
These are very minor things, will not make a difference in the basic problem that we have.
Sir, even the contempt
okay,
power
fine.
could
Thank
be.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Which cadre you have been allotted in IPS?
Sir, my home cadre, Gujarat.
Oh, wonderful. Gujarat, everybody knows doing very well. But there are some aspects of HDI, Human Development Index, is lacking. Which are those areas?
Sir, majorly Gujarat is lagging in health as well as education, sir.
Health and education, but on the some child birth.
Yes, sir. One is child sex ratio. That is declining in Gujarat. And recently also there were reports that in Ahmedabad and Rajkot civil hospitals, due to lack of oxygen, many newborns
No,
are
that was
dying.
immediate. On that overall, that woman and child, that why then it is a prosperous state. So why what does this indicates?
Sir, there is basically a contradiction because economically Gujarat has prospered, but when it is seen from social perspective, it is still lagging behind in some aspects, sir. Especially infant mortality rate, maternal
So
mortality
what
rate.
reason may be for that?
Sir, part of the reason is that Gujarat model of development, whereby heavy focus was on tax rebates as well as foregoing of taxes. Because of that, adequate resources could not be generated to utilize it on welfare initiatives, sir.
Especially in tribal areas.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Gandhi and Gujarat. Which are the important places associated with Gandhi in Gujarat and other than Gujarat?
Sir, in Gujarat, one is Porbandar, Gandhiji's birthplace.
Just name.
One is Dandi, Salt March.
Now, what was the total distance from Dandi to?
Ahmedabad, Sabarmati Ashram. Sir, it is roughly 300 kilometers, sir.
Okay, and when it started? 20 March, on what date? And for how many days it was?
Sir, it was for 24 days between March and April. I do not remember the exact date, sir. March 1930 it started on some date and it ended on April 1930, sir. It continued for roughly 24 days.
Okay, but last question. Which city have been in the smart city from Gujarat? And what is their progress?
Sir,
Out of 100, Gujarat also had some smart city.
Sir, as far as my knowledge goes, there are 6 cities included in those 100 list. Surat, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Vadodara, and 2 other cities I'm forgetting, sir,
Okay.
right now.
Sir.
Karthik, I got a very interesting tweet today. He's an ex-IPS officer, now retired. He says that human body has got 33 vertebrae, and once you are selected in a All India Service Officer, every year you lose 1 vertebra. At the end of your career, the selection committee has to see which officer has lost all his vertebrae so that they can put you on the top job. Now, do you agree to that or disagree?
Unfortunately, yes, sir. I do agree because situation, recent several of the appointments do point towards such trends, sir. But it is not to be generalized because there are always exceptions. Even there are honest officers getting some really good posts, sir.
Like,
Sir, Vadodara Commissioner of Police.
no, I am not talking of Vadodara Commissioner of Police. See, if you read into, because these are the questions only because you are already in IPS and you will be able to answer this question in a more practical way. Think of the Chief Secretary of West Bengal. He violated all the official code of conduct and the duties which were assigned to him while he ignored the Prime Minister. The Mumbai Police Commissioner, he was in a very good book of the politicians, and now he has been thrown out like a fly in the milk. So, officers serving in Central, they retire, they get governorship, election commission member, this, that, blah, blah, blah. So, I think this IPS officer who made this comment is very, very true. And there are not many exceptions. So, what should be your career plan from now on? Either you join IAS or IPS. And where is the political neutrality of the civil servants?
Sir, I am very much clear about my career plan that wherever I go, as far as the political interference, so to say, is concerned, whatever is within the legal framework, which could be done, because they are ultimately accountable to the people. So whenever they are demanding something to be done, if it is within the purview of law, I would definitely do it. But whenever it expects me to go out of the law, there I would refuse. And sir, as far as my career plan goes, in whichever department or wherever I am put, I would contribute to the fullest. So that is my only consideration.
Okay, another contentious question is, do you think that the All India service like IAS, IPS and forest services, they are really All India services? I think, in my opinion, central services are more or less All India services because you get posted in every part of India. We are only selected and get posted to a cadre. Only few lucky ones go and serve in the center or maybe the central police organizations and similar assignments. So it is a misnomer. This is what my opinion is. Do you agree or disagree?
No, sir, I disagree because there are certain elements in All India service which truly justify it to be of All India character, like joint control of both state government as well as central government. Now, even new zonal policy has come for cadre, whereby earlier what used to happen, people used to be within their geographical zone. Like I am from Gujarat, so I will go to MP or Rajasthan at most. But now they are really put across length and breadth of the country. So that is also one element which justifies it to be of All India character. And also there are inter-cadre deputation. People are put into inter-cadre deputation as well as central deputation. So that also justifies it to be of All India character.
My last question. What kind of control do you think that the central government has on All India service officers? In my opinion, after serving so many years, there is none.
Sir, All India service officers are under immediate control of state government, operational control. Central government only comes to the extent of disciplinary authority, ultimate disciplinary authority. It appoints as well as it has the right to dismissal.
So,
as well
if
as
you are
removal.
serving well to the interest of the state government, you need not face a disciplinary action, and nowhere the question of conflict arises.
Sir, there was one recent editorial in which, if we strictly go by All India Service Conduct Rules of 1968, even if the state government's consent is not there, central government can initiate some of the disciplinary actions, but it is not usually put in practice. So, if center is willing, then it can, even if state government doesn't concur, it can take some of the actions, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
About 20 years ago, say, hardly any Gujaratis went into the services. Most of the Gujarat cadre was composed of outsiders. But now it's not like that. Many Gujaratis are applying and getting into the civil services in Gujarat. What do you think, does this indicate a lack of jobs in the rest of because they're all businessmen. So does it indicate a lower growth or lack of industrial, other employment, private sector employment? Or what does it indicate? This, attraction of the IAS for the first time for the youth.
Ma'am, it is a gray area because there are multiple reasons. It's a complex issue. Yes, because in Saurashtra region, there was agriculture which was dominating. But of late, agriculture has not been doing so well. So that is the reason they are aspiring. In South Gujarat and Central Gujarat, it was industrialized. But now there has been some stagnation. Joblessness has been on the rise. So some people are aspiring for this. And there is one more issue, ma'am, because awareness was the issue, lack of awareness. Because people really in Gujarat did not know that even such civil services exist like IAS, IPS and all. But now there has been of late many of the cultural influences from across the state. So that is also the reason that despite having job, people are choosing to come for civil services, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So that's the end of the interview. Now, unless you have something to ask of any of the panelists, we are finished with asking questions. So do you have anything to say?
Nothing specific.
Nothing specific. All right, fine. You've done well. So you can be confident in facing and you have already faced, if you're already in the IPS, you have already faced the interview, finally UPSC interview, so you have nothing to worry about. And even now, from your performance today, I think you should do quite well. So there is nothing. Must read up a little more. Just keep yourself fully abreast of all the latest news and things like that, especially the hot topics of the day. Tell me, what was the news that broke some time ago, which was a very important news?
Anything specific, ma'am, or?
Well, it was front page news and headlines.
Ma'am, Assam Meghalaya border issue.
No, not that.
Taliban, Afghanistan issue.
Pegasus, have you heard of that?
Yes, ma'am. That is also a burning issue. Pegasus.
Right. So read up on that. It's going to be a more issue which is going to start a lot of problems in the parliament. It's going to go on for a while. So things like that, be very, very upfront, abreast of all the news, and try and make your answers as concise and to the point as possible.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay? Instead of dilating, giving long answers. Now, in the Surat diamond case, there was one issue you didn't answer, supply of diamonds. Where do they get how did it start? Because if there was no diamonds There must be some reason why it took root in Surat. So where did the diamonds come from? The
Ma'am, they are imported.
rough diamonds.
They are, ma'am, imported from other countries, and they land first in Mumbai, and from there they come to Surat, ma'am.
So why did that happen? Why did they start trading in diamonds and then polishing them? Any idea?
Ma'am, because manufacturing, cutting and polishing cost is very much less in Surat, because in Mumbai cost of living as well as all the cost is very high.
Okay.
So that is why it is concentrated in Surat, ma'am.
Okay. So anyway, so that is all. We don't want to ask any more questions of you. And I said, just keep these points in mind that we've said. And you will have to defend yourself against the kind of thing that Mr. Jha was mentioning. You should have some ready answer, preferably a more as witty an answer as his question. So,
Sir, what should be the ideal answer? Because we cannot too much criticize also these things.
No, you gave very good answer. In fact, Nageshwar Rao has also posted after retirement. While he was in service, he knew this. He didn't get the top job, that's why he's posting this thing. So it's okay. Only thing, I have a small suggestion. I don't know you would like to change that or not. You are speaking too many times, sir, 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 sir. Can it, maybe because of academy practice or I don't know. So if you can, sometimes it hurts your ear. Too much, sir, sir.
Okay. I'll work
At
upon
the
it.
beginning of the line, middle of the line, end of the line, if you can avoid that.
Okay.
It's very short notice. I think 16th of August is your interview.
Sir, it is 25th August.
Oh, then if you can change, otherwise it's okay.
you should do well.
We'll
Be
do
confident.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.